Today, we bring you some heart-wrenching news. The chances of seeing the real Abigail Deveraux return to Days of Our Lives have dwindled to nothing. For those of us who have been holding on to hope that Abigail would make her triumphant comeback, it's time to face the painful reality that it might never happen. But why? What led us to this heartbreaking conclusion? Let's dive into the story together and unravel the tragic truth behind Abigail's fate. When Chad and Jack stumbled upon a mysterious woman, many of us believed we were witnessing the return of Abigail herself, perhaps with her memories lost. The possibility sent a wave of excitement through Salem and among fans who have long missed the vibrant presence of Abigail. Could it be that she survived, only to be kept away by some cruel twist of fate? It seemed plausible, especially in the world of Salem, where even the most impossible situations often turn out to be true. However, the hopeful illusion began to unravel. While we initially wanted to believe that the woman Chad and Jack found was indeed Abigail, the truth slowly came to light. One of the most revealing moments occurred when Mark, the mysterious woman's brother, encouraged her to continue with the deception. In a somber confession, Mark acknowledged just how hard it was to carry on the charade, especially after all that Chad had been through following Abigail's death. Mark's words were like a dagger to our collective hopes. He admitted that Chad had suffered enough from losing Abigail, and now making him believe she was back, when she wasn't, was a cruel twist of fate. His statement confirmed our worst fears. This woman, despite the resemblances and the buildup of mystery, was not Abigail. And worse, she never had been. This revelation raises a larger question. Why create this elaborate ruse? If someone truly wanted to deceive Chad, why not use the real Abigail if she were still alive? The key player in this sinister plot, Clyde Weston, provides some answers to that question. Clyde is no stranger to manipulation and deception, but his motivations run deeper than just playing mind games with Chad. If Clyde had the real Abigail in his clutches, why wouldn't he use her as the ultimate bargaining chip? Abigail, as Chad's great love, would be the perfect leverage to bend Chad to Clyde's will. Instead of conjuring up a fake, Clyde could have held the real Abigail hostage and demanded whatever he wanted from Chad in exchange for her freedom. Think about it. Clyde's scheme involves keeping Chad in the dark, manipulating him through smoke and mirrors, and sending him on wild chases through a web of lies. This level of complexity suggests that Clyde has no access to the real Abigail. Otherwise, holding her hostage would be a far simpler, more effective strategy. The fact that Clyde is playing mind games with Chad and the Greens, rather than presenting the real Abigail, only reinforces the tragic truth. Abigail is truly gone. But let's pause and reflect on what this means. Abigail's death was a monumental moment in Days of Our Lives, leaving not only Chad but all of Salem reeling from the loss. She was a cornerstone character, beloved by fans, and her storylines were some of the most emotional and gripping in the show's history. Her relationships with Chad, her family, and her friends were all deeply intertwined with the fabric of the show. The hope for her return wasn't just wishful thinking. It was a desire to see her unfinished story completed, her love with Chad rekindled, and her role as a mother restored. Yet it seems the writers have taken us on a painful journey of acceptance. By weaving this deception into the storyline, they're pushing us to come to terms with the fact that Abigail is no longer part of the world of Salem. Her legacy will live on in the hearts of those who loved her, but as much as it hurts to say, she's not coming back. As fans, we often hold on to hope longer than we should, especially in a show where the dead don't always stay dead. We've seen it before. Characters presumed gone forever, only to return in dramatic and surprising ways. But this time, the clues are all pointing in the opposite direction. The fake Abigail, Clyde's manipulations, and the lack of any tangible evidence of her survival all suggest that this chapter of Days of Our Lives has come to a close. For those of us who still cling to the possibility of Abigail's return, it's a hard pill to swallow. The show has asked us to mourn her once, and now they're asking us to let her go for good. Perhaps the story will continue with new developments and twists that don't involve Abigail's return, but rather focus on how Chad and her family navigate life without her. Maybe it's time for the characters, and us, to heal from the devastating loss and move forward, as difficult as that may be. As we bid farewell to the hope of Abigail's return, we're left with mixed emotions. On one hand, we'll always cherish the memories of her character, the love she shared with Chad, the trials she overcame, and the role she played in the lives of those around her. On the other hand, the confirmation of her absence leaves a void that will take time to fill. Are you ready to accept that Abigail is gone for good? So here we are, grappling with the truth. The woman we thought could be Abigail was nothing more than an imposter, a pawn in a larger scheme. Clyde's twisted game has forced us to face the reality we didn't want to believe. Abigail is gone, and this time it seems like there's no coming back. As fans, it's a painful goodbye, but perhaps it's one that will allow the characters and us to finally move on. What are your thoughts? Do you think there's still a sliver of hope for Abigail's return, or are you ready to close this chapter? Whatever the future holds, Days of Our Lives continues to keep us on the edge of our seats, and we'll be here with you every step of the way. Our TV channel Soap News and Spoilers is the place for those who want to know how the Salem story goes, as well as great Days of Our Lives updates and news. So subscribe to our channel to get what you want. Bye-bye.